Well, I have often said the two hardest jobs in politics are city council and school board because there is no layer between you and the public. Members of the public will tell you what they think in the aisles of a grocery store, at church, or at your child's Little League games. Hey, when I was governor, I usually had several layers between me and a mob, including some Arkansas state troopers who were heavily armed. Now, that didn't mean I didn't get yelled at. It happened at town halls, sometimes in public places like sporting events, and even at church. Well, at church, it was my pastor yelling. But to be honest, he was yelling at everybody, so that may not count as the same. Because parents across America have had it up to their eyebrows with their children being indoctrinated rather than educated with a bunch of racist claptrap like critical race theory, that spews out divisive racist teaching that America is an evil country, or puts out some unscientific and nutty notion that there are 57 genders and that one can just imagine being whatever and you become that just by saying so. There are schools that are sponsoring some sick and twisted programs like Drag Queen Story Hour, where transvestites are invited to read sexually explicit stories to 6-year-old kids. So throughout the country, parents are finally pushing back against government-run schools that prohibit prayer but promote perversion. And what's the response by voter-elected public servants on school boards? They have asked the Biden Justice Department to bring in the FBI to stop these loudmouth parents from speaking out at school board meetings. And instead of laughing them out of the Justice Building, Attorney General Merrick Garland has decided to sick the FBI on the parents who dare to care about what their kids are being taught in taxpayer-funded schools. Democrat candidate for Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe had an unintended moment of honesty when he actually said in a debate with his GOP opponent Glenn Youngkin that parents have no business questioning what teachers teach the children. Really? So the government owns your children, and you're to simply drop them off at school like dirty laundry, and when you pick them up, and their lives are stained with pornography, racism, and anti-Americanism, you're to thank the schools and keep paying for it? So the message to parents is simple. Shut up and turn your kids over to us. Hey, let's be absolutely clear. If someone actually threatens a school board member or any public official with bodily harm, that is a crime. But local law enforcement can handle that. There are laws to deal with it. But when a parent shows up at a public forum and expresses disgust at what his or her child is being taught, that is not domestic terrorism. That's called citizenship. And until recently, that was protected free speech. Now, it's always better to be civil and fact-based when speaking at a school board or city council meeting. But I'm going to tell you something, the law doesn't require you to be sweet. You can be angry and even raise your voice. That's protected in the Constitution. Now, the FBI ought to be cleaning its own house from the corruption of filing false documents when they spied on a presidential campaign, and instead, they need to be focusing on real crime, like maybe murder in America, which is up 30%. Maybe that's because some leftist mayors and governors think we ought to defund the police rather than defend the police. Now the Attorney General wants to direct federal resources to stifle a rightfully angry mom at a school board meeting. Hey, for that, you don't need the FBI. Just call in old Bubba. He can handle that. Every time. But the unintended consequence is going to be masses of parents being fed up and getting their kids out of government schools and starting to homeschool them and put them in private schools where people don't hate America or the Constitution. And here's hoping that some of you will run for school board, will stand up for the parents and students instead of the government goons, and stop this nut-infused nonsense. Now, if you're seeing this, I know you've enjoyed that video. I mean, how could you not, after all? So you know what you should do? Leave a like, click on the subscribe button below, and hit the notification bell next to it so you'll always know when I have another video up for you to enjoy.